Let me welcome my guest. He is in a discipline of the martial arts, and it's called Judo. I always look at these gentlemen walk around and knock each other senseless, but it is an art. It is an art, and it is an art that for the first time is being welcomed in the Olympics. So that is a very good thing. My guest himself, he has been, if you read his resume, you go like, huh? You've done all of this, his accomplishments, he's accomplished a lot. He is, as a matter of fact, the director, the head instructor and director of the Queen's Park Judo Club here in Port of Spain. He's a member of the Kokodan Judo Institute.
Kodokan.
Well, I was working on that. Kodokan. Okay. Let me welcome Mark Littrean. Mark, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us this morning.
Good morning, Rennie.
It's good to have you here. You are going to be joined and or followed by the president of the Trinidad Olympic Committee, who is there smiling because this is going to be it's the first time you're up there with a contingent. Tell us about Judo for the uninitiated. Just briefly, tell us about Judo. Why it is taking this long for something that's clearly a sport, even though there's a whole spiritual side and so on. Why it took so long to get there? But start by telling us, what is Judo all about?
Well, for your second question, Judo actually has been a part of the Olympics since 1964.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the first martial art, Asian martial art, to be inducted into the Olympic Games, Summer Olympic Games. And it has been there, part of the Olympics ever since.
Okay.
With respect to our participation,
Trinidad's participation, I should have qualified it.
Yes.
It's the first time Trinidad and Tobago's got a contingent going. I'm sorry. Thank you so much.
That's correct. It's our first time. Christopher George qualified via the continental quota for the Olympic Games. That means he fought and he got his points, and he is among the world's top athletes at the Olympic Games.
You have been involved in this for a very long time. For Trinidad and Tobago to be now sending its first contingent up there, it was a very long wait. Give us a little bit about your progress through this, however, because I find it interesting. You not only won competitions here, you did in America, you did it in different parts of the world. Talk about that.
Yeah, personally, I have. I started judo 30 years ago, and it's been tough. Judo is not something that everyone likes. You have to like it. The first time that you see it or practice it, you have to like it, and it's a very hard discipline. I had lots of battles over the years, personal stories and so on, going abroad to study and then finding judo. But being a part of it, being a part of the judo family, it encourages you to want to give of your best. And I represented Trinidad and Tobago for the first time at the CAC Games. I think it was held in Ponce, Mexico. Puerto Rico. And ever since then, off and on, I would represent Trinidad and Tobago at different tournaments. I never really had the coaching because we didn't have the coaching that was necessary to take us to medal at those games, and it was a very difficult thing because we had such a small community and not many people to practice with and to coach. So it was very difficult for me, and I had to coach myself. So I was an athlete and a coach.
Athlete coaches.
Yeah, and so it's been tough. My focus had to be on developing those that were below me, my athletes. And I made that decision in 1996 to just forego competing abroad and focus on coaching. And that's when the Queen's Park Judo Club started in 1996.
Unless things have drastically changed from what you explained there, being a participant, being a competitor, being a coach, and you said we didn't have the necessary infrastructure to train people to ascend to what is now our first entree into the Olympics. Has that changed?
Yeah, considerably. What has happened is, well, quite recently, we've had a vibrant executive committee, Judo Trinidad and Tobago, since 2012. And we've now re-engaged the international judo community under the leadership of our local body, Mr. Wed Eastman. And he has had an approach where he listens to everyone and he gives them the freedom, gives us the freedom to work, to do our work, the work that we love. And since then, we have grown from strength to the point where now we actually have participants that are world ranked. For instance, Christopher George, who just qualified for the Olympics. Last time I checked, I think he was 79 in the world. And then we have two other young athletes, Gabriella Wood. She is ranked 25 in the world, juniors, female, over 78 kilograms. And we have another one called Xavier Jones, who is ranked 26th in the world, cadets. That's under 18 years, 90 kilograms.
Now, I don't know anything about judo except the physical things that I have seen. I do know the arts, however, has a very serious spiritual component.
Yeah.
And what it does, it lends itself to young folks getting that sort of discipline that works for them. How widespread is that understanding of it in the area of judo here? And how knowledgeable are Trinidadians to bring their children to participate in it?
Well, that is the problem. Us getting the word out there. Those that have joined judo and that practice it, they understand that it's a way of life, and it grounds you. It grounded me. I had lots of troubles in myself when I was growing up, and just the practice of judo helped me focus. It helped, and I've seen how it has helped other kids that have issues focus. And that spiritual component that you speak about, it's so ingrained in what we practice that you speak when you in your introduction, you spoke about you look at these guys bashing everyone in, and then us. Oh, when we hear this, how could you think that? I guess it's from the outside, but it gives you that peace, that confidence to know that just because you can doesn't mean that you should. And it's tempered lots of people, even myself and others that I've seen. It's something it's really amazing. You know, and kids, that's the thing, that people out there don't know this. And we have such a small participation in Trinidad and Tobago. We have about 150. And it's a vicious cycle, because we have such a small community, and us getting the word out there is difficult with all the noise of these other sports. And especially, MMA is very popular, and we have to really compete with those things. And it's, people look at these things on ESPN and so on, and they love this. They love the flash. Judo isn't flashy.
No, you see, and that is why my introduction was the way it was, because anyone who has been in any way involved in the arts understand the spiritual component. But what we see is the flashy, pick him up, throw him down, and so on. And that's why I went on to talk about the spiritual end of it after, because what you see out there is only the manifestation of the physical part of the form. I am a bit surprised, because judo is not a very expensive sport. It is something that a lot of kids will do well to be involved with. Is there an address folks can get up to, your school and get their kids and find out more information? A web address, I mean.
Yeah. It's qpjc.org.
Queen's Park.
Yeah. And we're also Judo TT, Judo Trinidad and Tobago is also developing its own website. That's the national body for judo, of which I'm the technical director, by the way. Yeah, and
still doing everything.
Yeah, and that should be up. There's some errors on it, but we're working on it, and that should be judott.com or something. It should be up soon.
It's a little unfair to ask you this, but I have to ask you. He's your charge. Christopher George, what are you expecting?
I expect him to do his best. Judo is it's highly competitive. You're talking, in fact, it's you're looking at thousands of people vying just to get there, and you have a spot of only 31 people for that category. And it's amazing what Christopher has done. He has had that foundation from from very young. He represented Trinidad and Tobago in swimming and water polo, and it's because of that, that base of being a good athlete, and his discipline, his focus. He's been able to get this far. And I was skeptical when he said, Sensei, I want to make the Olympics. I want to make the get up there. And I said, Christopher, it's going to be difficult. And he didn't understand then. Just recently he came back and he said, Sensei, it's the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, he was looking at Sensei being an 8 Dan himself and thought probably, this is the easy thing. But to achieve your 8 Dan, it took a lot of years to get there.
It's extremely difficult.
And a lot of work, yes.
Yeah. Only 31 spots in that category. And you're talking about the first 22 spaces in the world, top 22 in the world, plus 9 others.
150 or thereabout practitioners, you say, in the art of judo here. This is an amazing achievement that you can have someone from the discipline going forward from Trinidad and Tobago for the first time. And I am sure the Olympic president, like all of Trinidad and Tobago, will be rooting strongly for your success and for what you have done.
Yes, well, Christopher has, we're really confident in his abilities.
That's your humility. When I say what you have done, I meant your body as a whole, yes.
That's the thing about it. It's not about, this is not about us, really. It's about all the young kids out there that just want something to make them feel confident. They when they look up to Christopher, Xavier, Gabriella, and the others, but it's we just don't want to make it about competition alone. It's about participation. We want as widest base as possible. That is what that's what we at Judo TT are looking at doing. And once we have that broad base of participation, we can look forward to more qualifications in the Olympic Games.
I hear that. Well, I'm going to wish Chris, I'm going to wish your school, all those who are attempting to bring this alternative, because I think it's the lack of alternative things for kids to do is one of the reasons why we have so much time spent locked in on a little finger tapping telephone or iPad or getting involved with activities that's inimical to their well-being later on. So I'm very happy to see schools like yourself doing this.
Thank you very much.
And I will not say bashing the next time. It's nice to throw a couple of people.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of fun, though.
Mark Littrean, thank you so much for taking the time, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right.